You are quite possibly investing in AI chip stocks wrong. One of the hardest things to do is to have a lot of AI investments, especially in AI chip stocks like NVIDIA, Broadcom, AMD, and then manage all of that. And a lot of people don't like that. So I'm going to give you a way in this video to invest one place and you get access to every single major AI chip stock in one place. And by the way, this one place has given a return of 330+% in the last year. So let's jump into this and get started. Got a lot to share with you. We got a lot to unpack. Let's do this. Okay. So we are talking about a AI stock semiconductor ETF. That's what we're talking about. Okay. And this is insane because 40% of its portfolio is parked in Micron, AMD, Broadcom, NVIDIA, and Intel. And as I said, 330+% return on investment in the last year. A staggering number. Okay. And I'm going to share with you the exact one that this is and why this ETF is one of the hottest ways to invest, because let's call it what it is. Sometimes keeping up with all of your AI stock investments, you've got all those different sectors, right? You got chips, you got memory, you've got, the hyperscalers, you've got the power production and nuclear power facilities, you've got cabling, and the list just goes on and on. Different components. You got manufacturers of everything like Taiwan Semiconductor. Sometimes it gets like, oh my God, how do I keep up with all this? Well, this is a good way to do it. And a lot of these ETFs are starting to emerge and have emerged, which is why I love talking about them. Okay. So moving on here. So again, you understand how this works. We have an AI data center build out problem, meaning that right now that AI, all these massive AI data centers that are being built, they're spending about $700 billion in this year alone on that AI infrastructure build out. That's going to go to north of 4 trillion by 2030 and probably 7 trillion by 2033. So you can see that massive scaling up, right? And at the heart of that is AI chip stocks like NVIDIA, AMD, Broadcom, Intel, things of this nature. Okay, so it's crazy, right? All right, so the iShares Semiconductor ETF, SOXX, is the ticker. We'll take a look at that right here. And you can see in the last month, 25% up, 1 year, 148, 293% plus percent. Just crazy, crazy returns. Okay. And kind of switching back over here, it has delivered a blistering return of 330+% since the AI boom started gathering momentum in 23. It has massive positions in Micron, AMD, Broadcom, NVIDIA, Intel, and a host of other semiconductor giants. In fact, it holds approximately 30 different AI stocks, okay? But the majority of its top 5 holdings account for 40% of the value of the portfolio. And here's the exact stocks and their percentages of what they own. So just shy of 10% of the iShares ETF is in Micron. Just shy of 9% is in AMD. Broadcom, 7.29. NVIDIA, 7%. Intel, 6.73%. Okay, so that's what's really cool about it. So, yeah, I mean, I love this. It only invests in U.S. companies that design, manufacture, and distribute chips and components, particularly those that stand to benefit from the mega trends like AI, all that kind of stuff. This is, again, the iShares Semiconductor ETF. Ticker is SOXX. All right, kind of continue on a few final thoughts here. So look, GPUs, which is what NVIDIA, Intel make, are at the center. They're at the heart of everything as far as this data center build out. And I would also add into that memory, i.e. Micron. Micron being the major memory chip manufacturer, and those memory chips go on the actual chips from NVIDIA and Intel, so forth. Micron's one of the biggest ones standing there. Okay. All right. So NVIDIA has currently and is dominating the chip manufacturing industry. Actually, they're a designer. They don't manufacture. Taiwan Semiconductor manufactures their chips. NVIDIA is going to up the ante later this year when it starts shipping its Vera Rubin systems. They're currently shipping the Blackwell series. The Vera Rubin company says will be so powerful that developers can train AI models using 75% fewer GPUs compared to their existing Blackwell series. It's interesting, isn't it, that you would look at that and go, well, wait a minute, if they're gonna ship 75% fewer, I mean less sales. No, they'll adjust the pricing accordingly. Believe me, NVIDIA is not going to lose out on billions of dollars. And we just did the NVIDIA earnings call yesterday, did a video on that. It'll probably be linked at the end of this, so you can check that out. But we're looking pretty good as far as that. They beat on their Q1 number. They gave Q2 guidance. It looked really good. And that was what everybody was kind of worried about, was NVIDIA's earnings call, to kind of see how that would play out, because NVIDIA kind of is the bellwether of kind of all AI stocks. And people look at it like, okay, well, if NVIDIA's business is shrinking, then everybody else's business is shrinking. All right. So continuing on, NVIDIA does face growing competition from AMD, Broadcom. I would also venture to say Intel. Okay. We all know this. So that's why I actually do own all of those. Right. But I am considering investing in this ETF as well, because an ETF is just simply a simpler way to do it, if you will. Okay. You get exposure to all those different assets. Again, top 5 listed here, right? You get exposure to them, but you're not investing in each individual one, things of this nature. And it's sometimes is an easier way to do it. Okay. So, and sometimes in our lives, we want a little bit less complexity. Okay. If you look at the entire AI stack and everything you need to invest in to kind of have a good diversified way to do it, that's a lot of stocks. I mean, especially if you consider even quantum computing, like IonQ, D-Wave, and all those guys like that. And every kind of level of the stack, if you're investing in 2, 3, 4, that can add up to a lot of different ways to have exposure. And that's why I like this ETF, because again, it looks like it has a stellar long-term track record. We already talked about that. And I think that it is going to do really, really well in the future because of the holdings that the ETF has. SOXX is the ticker. Look, it looks really good, right? And it's going to piggyback and roll with, obviously, the demand for AI chip stocks is at the heart of this AI infrastructure build out. If you want to remember one really key thing here, okay, it is, remember that AI infrastructure build out right now is going to be a $700 billion industry in 26. Going to go to 4 trillion by 2030. And going to go to 7 trillion by 2033. What does that equate to? Massive growth. What does that mean? That all of these chip and or memory manufacturers are all going to grow along with that, because that is demand that is out there. It is not going to go away, and it has to be provided to continue to facilitate everything kind of AI related. And at the heart of it is GPUs and memory. So that's why I really like this ETF from iShares Semiconductor, again, ticker SOXX, because it facilitates a easier way to do and invest in the AI stock semiconductor stock space. All right. Let me know what you think. Drop in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.